Okay people, welcome to a day in the life where I'm going to show everyone how to live optimally and most importantly, eat optimally. As soon as I wake up, whatever time that is, I like to go for a walk in the mornings just to clear that central nervous system to get as much fresh air in the lungs as possible. This was a massive component in my development, honestly, and I think no matter where you are, whether it's the woods, the beach or just on a big patch of grass, it's really important to get out there. And I literally fell over here. There was a big hole in the ground, which I didn't expect. You know, I ruined my trainers, but that's what you get for wearing man-made shoes in nature. But we don't let that deter us. We still carry on and get a little bit of exercise, go explore, find new things. I found a nice little waterfall here and listen to the sounds. It's just so nice and relaxing. Here I like to just get as much sunlight in my eyes as possible in the mornings. And of course grounding, get those negative healing ions to counteract any free radicals. Most people don't even do this once a week or once a month, but I like to do it once a day. It's so nice, even though it's a bit cold at this time of the year, it's so refreshing to get out there. And while I'm out here I like to do deep nasal breathing, really important for facial development and also just for your health in general. I like to have a little bit of fun, do some balancing for proprioception. Really good. Check out the mushrooms and the nature. Just bring down that central nervous system, you know. Go outside and just relax. In this overstimulating world, it's really good to just get out there and explore and just notice the small things. It really brings you back to our roots. And of course, as old as I get, it doesn't really matter. I like to play. Play maxing is really important for staying youthful, for staying healthy and happy. And I'm just doing a bit of a Tarzan maxing here, just a bit of swinging. You know, it looks silly, but it's so much fun just to relax a little bit and have some fun. When I go on a walk, I usually like to hydrate with raw milk, but I didn't have any glass bottles, so I ended up ordering some, and they came, so I unpackaged them, cleaned them out, and essentially filled them all up with my milk, so they weren't stored in plastic. It's really good because microplastics are a massive component in negative health effects. One of the many things that can disrupt your hormones in this world, so it's important to store your milk in glass, especially if you leave it out. I like to let it get warm, and if you do that in plastic, you're increasing the amount of microplastics that leach into the milk. So I finish that bottle of milk and I do a lymphatic drainage massage. You always start off with the collarbones, shoulders and neck, of course. And if you're interested in learning more about this, I have the full course in my community. People have been getting great results with these methods and they're so good. You can notice results in as little as 30 days. I like to do this every day because your lymph has no central pump, unlike your heart. It requires some sort of movement, massage or heat, which is why I like to do hot baths as well. I do those a few times a week, 3 or 4 times a week. What we're doing here is just some vibrations behind the ears. It's really good at releasing tension from the scalp and clearing any fluid that may be stored from your sleep. And this is just clearing the lymph nodes as well. Like I said, this is only a portion of the massage, but you're getting a good idea of how it all works. You don't need to push hard, you don't need to be too rough or anything like that. There's all different kinds of exercises within my community. And now I just do a few press ups just to do a bit of strength training. This is something that I do pretty much every single day. I don't go to the gym or anything like that, so this is my way of staying strong and fit. You know, some people are against working out altogether. I'm not exactly against that, but overly working your body out is probably something that I'm against. And then after that, I like to have 6 eggs with a glass of milk. And again here, some people may disagree, but today I've only gone for the yolks. Sometimes I do eat the white as well, but I just mostly prefer the yolks. I don't think the white is really very necessary. The amount of protein that I get on a daily basis is absolutely enough. I don't need the whites, and they do have anti-nutrients as well, so... And I'm just having a little shave before I go out. I like to use this Philips One Blade. It's so much easier. You don't get any nicks or gashes after you've used it a while. And every other shaver that I've used, I seem to get rashes or something like that. So next I have a little filtered shower. I'm only in there a very short amount of time. I don't like to dehydrate myself too much. I don't use any chemicals to wash myself, just a bar of tallow soap. Obviously a bit of narcissism there. And now I'm just getting ready. I've got a linen shirt on, some cotton jeans and cotton underwear. You know, you've got to stay fresh, you've got to stay natural as possible, no polyester. And I've got a lovely wool jumper. Wool is one of the best materials to wear, especially in the colder climates. It actually self-regulates, so you don't need to wash it as much as other things. Now I'm just trying to make myself look a bit more presentable. It's really hard to do so when you've got long hair. Sometimes it can get really greasy and tangled, and then you look a mess. And just before I leave the house, I'm going to do some community replies. For those of you who don't know, I have a private community with Duru where we coach people on a daily basis. We get amazing results. Like this one here, this guy has a 21-day transformation, and look how his skin is all cleared out. It's unbelievable, the transformations that these people have in such short periods of time. No coaches really get results like this. We also run a monthly $200 transformation giveaway, so the person with the best transformation at the end of the month gets $200. So a big incentive for you if you want to join the community. The link will be down in the description. Well, yeah, this is just me getting a taxi and a train into the city centre. It sounds crazy, I live around nature, but I just can't find the quality of food that I can find at the butcher's that's in the city centre, so I always like to go there at least once a week and get some good food. Here you can see they have a wide array of cheeses, cured meats and fresh meat, including bone marrow and liver, things like that. But yeah, the sun came out for about 5 minutes, which isn't very usual in England, so I used the opportunity to get some good lighting. And I got a bit hungry, so I went to a restaurant. I'd never been here before, it's my first ever time, and I found out that it was happy hour, so they were doing £1 oysters. If you don't know what a pound is, obviously it's the conversion, the British currency. So I ended up getting 18 at first, and I do eat all of these and end up getting 6 more. So just enjoy a time lapse of me eating 24 oysters or 24 oysters. These were delicious, really fresh, tasty, and I finished them in absolutely no time. I had no trouble getting these down, so delicious. But yeah, if you didn't know, oysters are really high in zinc. It's great for your hormones and immunity. Copper is great for your collagen production and your hair health. B12 for your nerves, energy. DHA for your brain, support thyroid function, libido. They're absolutely brilliant things to eat if you can get a hold of them, and I absolutely love them. Any chance I get to eat some cheap oysters, I take full advantage and eat as many as possible. So I spent £24 on these oysters, and it was absolutely well worth it. And I did follow that up with a steak tartare. It does have some croutons on there, which I moved out of the way, but it also has parmesan cheese and some pickled onions. I had a couple of the onions. I'm not really a massive fan, but when they're pickled, they're not so bad. This was really delicious. I think it was made with capers and egg yolk. Absolutely brilliant meal.
This is what I got from the butchers. I got a tin of sardines in olive oil, and if they're from Spain and in a tin, that means they're high quality. I got some eggs.
Okay, I'm going to take over here because the sound of the packets opening was really jarring. So I'm literally going to take over. I've got 3 beef bones. I'm going to use one of those today. I've also got some beef liver. I'm going to use 2 big pieces of that, which is probably about 100 grams, maybe a little bit more. Absolutely delicious, like really, really nice. And I think you'll see in a minute, it did smell a little bit weird, but it's just because it's been in the packet and I was walking around with it for a while. But, you know, as soon as I left it out to air, it went back to normal again. And I also have some ground beef, so this combination is one of my favourites. I probably used about half of the ground beef, so 500 grams, around just over a couple of pounds of ground beef. Really delicious and an absolutely brilliant balanced meal. So yeah, coming up, I'll just show you the plate here now. This is what it looks like if I can get the liver in there. Yep, there we go. And obviously I'm going to scrape out the bone, which is what I'm telling everybody now. I'm going to scrape the bone out and show you all what it looks like. It's quite convenient that I'm making this video today because this is the meal that I ate for many, many months on end, every single day the same meal, and it's something that I'm really familiar with. I love this meal so much. I used to eat it with a lot of honey or some kind of side, sour cream or something like that, but I just eat it plain now. It's so enjoyable, delicious, full of nutrients, exactly what you need. That bone marrow is so high in fat per gram. But yeah, this is one of my favourite meals ever. The combinations of these 3 flavours are so good. The liver was so fresh, the bone marrow was just so satiating, and the ground beef, of course, is great for volume. Up there, I've just left my milk by the window so it stays cold. If you leave it up against the window, it actually stays quite cold, even if you had the window closed. I just found that quite funny that I left it there by the trophy. But yeah, some people believe that I don't eat this way, so I just wanted to leave an unedited clip in there of me consuming this food just to prove all the doubters wrong. And this is literally one of my favourite meals. Look, I'm literally not wincing. I enjoy this food so much. People believe that it doesn't taste nice. Once you adapt and you stop eating the processed junk, you start to enjoy this food a lot more. The flavonoids become a lot more tasty. And just to end off the night for a little bit of dessert, I've got some homemade fermented milk, which is a bit like kefir without the grains, and I've got some honey with that. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching, guys.